Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're doing really well. I hope you're having a great week, and whatever you're up to creatively, I hope you're having fun. So today I'm going back and trying an open cup. I've not done one of these for a long time, but I've got one of my most favourite colour palettes. I'm trying to use up some of my paints. I'm going to show you the colour palette, but I have a cup of blue. Well, I say it's blue, but it contains lots of blue colours. It actually has a cell activator in there as well. And I think it has some metallics. Now, I'm not totally sure what this contains because you might have seen previous ones where I pour paint, tilt it, and then my table has some paint on it. And I always say that I scoop it up and I either use it as a flow extender or another colour. So if it's not muddy and it's a distinguished colour like this one, I will use it as a colour within a new creation. So I'm going to use this as my base colour, probably along with some other colours, but this is going to be the main colour. And then I'm going to use my cookie cutter as my open cup. So trying to minimise wastage and use all my drips from the table. I'm also going to take you down to see the colour palette that I'm using for this one. And I'll show you the canvas because I'm repurposing a canvas as well. I have gessoed over the top, which means I can reuse it and use it for a new creation. Thank you so much for being with me today. Let's see what we can create. So here's my table. It looks a bit messy actually, but I promise you I have organised chaos. So this is a canvas that I'm going to repurpose. As you can see, I've not worried too much about the edges, but I've just sewed the surface area. That just enables me to be able to pour over the top of it with confidence in terms of the paint will stick well. There's my cookie cutter, ready for the open cup. And I've just mixed up my paints. Let me remove my water bottle. And you can see here, I'm using a range of Amsterdam and Pebeo. So I've got 3 metallic colours there, silver, gold and copper. I'm using up some of my neutral grey and lamp black. There's my drips from the table. It's actually a really nice colour. So I'm excited to see how that reacts because I'm sure there's a cell activator in there as well. And then 3 blues. So I will list all the colours. I will list all the consistencies and the brands in the description box. So I'm ready. Let's go. So I'm going to add the colour that I made. So the metallic blue and the Prussian blue. And I'm just going to pour that into the centre of the canvas. I'm going to use all the paint. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up the canvas and spread that paint across the surface area. I'm not going to push it down the sides because when I start using the cookie cutter as my open cup, I'll add more paint volume to this puddle of paint. So in the end, I will have enough to work with when I tilt the canvas. But I'm going to place the cookie cutter here and I'm going to take one colour at a time and I'm just going to put those colours into the cookie cutter and then move it as I go. I'm going to do this a couple of times, maybe 3 times, just to ensure I've got good coverage on my canvas. But one thing that I've decided is I'd really like to have that balance of negative space and the result from the cookie cutter. So I would like a balance of the colour that we can see, that blue that I've made, along with all these other colours. So with this one, I'm really intending on leaving some negative space, probably in the middle section. As I move the cookie cutter, I'm just gently lifting it up to allow that paint that's within that cookie cutter to escape underneath and immerse itself in that blue paint that's on the base. So I'm going to do just one more, add some more paint, some different colours into this third one, and then just drag it across the canvas. And then it's about tilting the canvas and really opening up that paint, allowing that volume of paint to expose itself and cover that full surface area. From what you can see here, what you don't really know is that volume of paint that's in that cookie cutter that escapes underneath, and within that blue paint there's a large volume of paint to use. So it's really about now opening it up and exposing those colours. Let me just show you a quick viewpoint from this angle. And underneath there, you can see some of those cells already forming, but all that colour just sits underneath that surface area. So by tilting it, I'm going to allow that paint to come into its own and show itself. And as I tilt it, as I said, I really want to keep some of that negative space. So that area that you can see in the middle, I'd really like there to be a large blue section in balance with this paint as I tilt it. So I pick up my canvas, and now it's about working that volume of paint across that full surface area, whilst also being really mindful of the overall pattern and the overall composition. And as I tilt and push that paint over the edge, I bring it back on itself quite quickly. That's to minimise any waste, but it's also to maintain that pattern that you see on top. I'm really pleased that I've been able to keep that negative space, that big large block of blue that you can see there on the right hand side. I almost intend to keep that there. So I'm just tilting the paint now. I'm just allowing it to go over the edge. I bring it back on itself. I push it into the corner, and I'm just tilting from side to side. I'm helping that paint travel from one side to the other. I'm going to add a little bit more paint into the corner. That just needs a little bit of help with the flow, because if I don't do that, I'm afraid that I'm going to almost ruin the pattern that I've created. So that paint that you see that I've just added is going to help the other paint flow to the corner without distorting it too much. That's when I add more paint as a flow extender. And you might have heard me talk about a flow extender in the past. So as I tilt, I'm just ensuring that paint and that pattern goes directly to the edge and down the sides. And then it's making sure that I've got good consistent coverage across that canvas. So I will check that in a second. I'm just going to use my torch one more time to pop those air bubbles, and then I'm going to take you in for a closer look, both at the wet version and the dry version. So you've seen the wet version and all those details, and now here's the dry version. And I really do love the end result. I love how all those colours have worked well together. I do really like that large block of blue, that negative space that I've left. It's almost like there's an island one side. It actually reminds me of a cave, and it reminds me of a rock formation. So that's kind of my interpretation for this one. Let me know what you think. What do you see when you look at this painting? And what do you think about the colours that we've used? Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for being here week on week. Remember, if you can, please like, please share out, please recommend me to people that you think might be interested in this art form too. I hope you're having a great week, and whatever you're up to creatively, I hope it's going really well for you. Thank you again so much for being here, and I really hope I get to see you again in the next video. Take care of yourselves, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye.